Bringing it closer to Johannesburg now, day 2 of the National Water and Sanitation Indaba is set to get underway at the Gallagher Convention Centre in Midrand. The event underscores the government's commitment to ensuring reliable and sustainable services for all citizens. Watching that story is our senior reporter, Chriselda Lewis, who joins us now live from the Gallagher Convention Centre, which is already a hive of activity. Chriselda, yesterday we heard government giving an assurance that they're coming after syndicates in the sector.
Well, Ayanda, I think, what was quite critical is that, there was an expectation, or is an expectation, that this shouldn't just be another talk shop, but there should be tangible solutions that will come out of this conference pertaining to the sustainable provision of water in South Africa for everyone. Also on the issue of sanitation, Ayanda, pit latrines, that is a conversation that has been had for years, and the eradication of pit latrines, has been top of mind for government to ensure that young children are safe in schools. There's proper ablution facilities inside schools. The standards with which those ablution facilities are installed also meet certain requirements as well. You'd know that yesterday President Cyril Ramaphosa had opened this water Indaba and mentioned quite a number of issues. He did, of course, caution delegates that the discussions that are being had here today and the challenges in particular which have taken centre stage with relating to infrastructure, poor infrastructure, aging infrastructure, construction, water mafias, and a host of other challenges that the sector is grappling with. We know what the problems are. So this particular Indaba needs to come out with tangible solutions, implementable ones, for example. And in particular, if we look at the issues relating to municipalities, a little bit earlier on, I did have a conversation with the Deputy Minister of Water and Sanitation, and they were talking about how possibly they will also look at, legislation, amending legislation that will speak to, addressing some of the challenges that these municipalities are facing. We're talking at about, 140 municipalities, but we're looking at about 100 of those municipalities that are not properly functioning. So the issue of pit latrines, where are we at this particular stage? I want to bring in the CEO of the Water Research Commission, Dr. Jennifer Mulwantwa, basically the Water Research Commission CEO, an organization that addresses challenges, the norms and standards of proper sanitation. That's one of the aspects that the Water Research Commission is responsible for. First, let's talk about pit latrines. It's still a major problem for South Africa, but there have been a number of interventions that you've made as the Commission to ensure that we make some inroads in dealing with the issue relating to pit latrines. Where are we now?
Thank you very much, Chriselda, and good morning. I think it's very much important that you also bring in the issue of sanitation because, our big focus has been around water, but we're not talking much about sanitation. So the Water Research Commission has got a sanitation program, SASTEP program, wherein we have looked at new and innovative technologies to provide sanitation, one in schools, two in informal settlements. But in the main, we are saying that these, because you cannot be reticulating them similar, for example, in rural schools, which have pit latrines, you can't reticulate them into any system. So we are calling these decentralized systems. They are water efficient. They implement the mode of reuse of the water. So you are recycling this water. But in the main, it's also provision of safe sanitation, particularly when we're talking about the schools. Recently, we know what the findings of the Human Science Commission, Human Rights Commission, which said that, yes, we see that you have implemented school sanitation, you have progressed, but you have not looked at the research outcomes of the Water Research Commission, which guides around safety and security for the children. So the research that you do is on continued improvement of sanitation and toilets in particular, but also for informal settlements, right? Because we know in the main, human settlements will provide sanitation for new establishments. But where municipalities play a role is to able to service informal settlements within their areas. Some of these places are outside the bulk system that you have provided for. Now, how do you make sure that, because constitutionally you must provide for them, how do you make sure that they get dignified sanitation, we have also looked at those what we call city-wide or as well as sanitation systems that are dignified, also that are able to utilize solar and wind technology for energy, but they recycle in the water. And this has also changed the behavior. You know, people in informal settlements are appreciative and saying that they feel that their dignity has been restored.
CEO, just before we wrap up, we don't have much time. You spoke about the Human the Human Rights Commission? Yeah, the Human Rights Commission finding that in the Eastern Cape, while there had been proper ablution facilities that may have been installed, they did not meet the safety requirements that have been met. That's a critical aspect, especially if we look at it in light of what the President has said relating to the Safe Schools program.
Yes, I think this brings about a very critical issue. We are funded by the Water Research Levy, and the research that we do and the research outcomes that we have and these technologies are supposed to be taken up, and the state, which should be the first off-taker. So it shows that they just proceeded with the tendering system and doing toilets the same way they would. They didn't digging holes and making sure that they are proper toilets, but they are not safe. The guidelines that we have enhanced how these toilets must be. So research in the main is going to say, when you have this kind of system or technology, how then do you continuously improve it to make sure it's risk averse, to make sure that the safety for the children, and they are differentiated, and in schools where they've been implemented, you will see the culture change even in the children. It was also reported that girl children do not miss schools as a result of, when they go on their menses, and they were seen a lot more attendance where children, even before they leave to go home, they will want to use the ablution facilities. So we need to be the first off-taker as government, and that is very critical.
CEO, the program has started inside. Thank you very much indeed for joining us here on SABC News. The CEO of the Water Research Commission, what a critical institution, in ensuring, that they address some of the challenges, the norms and standards of, proper provision of, adequate sanitation. A very critical institution when looking at Ayanda. It's not just about, if you want to eradicate the pit latrine system, for example, it's not just about a tendering system where you have a company which will come in and dig a hole and put a toilet in there. There are norms and standards that need to be met in order to ensure that they are safe. You know that President Cyril Ramaphosa had spoken about the Safe Schools program, and that speaks to the heart of ensuring that when we talk about sanitation, it's not just about adequate sanitation but proper sanitation which is also safe. So that's some of the aspects that this Indaba is also focusing on. A lot of focus has been put on the provision of water for everyone, but of course sanitation, a critical aspect as well.
Absolutely. The stakes couldn't be higher, some people might say, especially with the President declaring this issue an emergency. Chriselda Lewis, live to us there from the Gallagher Convention Centre in Midrand. Thanks very much indeed.